So today, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna cook with flowers, specifically a hibiscus flower. And they're supposed to have this nice, soft, kind of meaty consistency. I'm gonna make taco meat with hibiscus flowers. This is dried hibiscus flower. It smells like a dream. It smells like plums or, I don't know. I'm gonna take 2 cups of my dried hibiscus and then I'm gonna rinse it until the water comes out kind of a pink color. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna boil these for about 10 minutes. Hibiscus is very, very, very sweet. So, a little pro tip, I'm gonna add a couple aromatics to this to kind of try to neutralize the sweetness. I'm just going with the basics, I'm going with what I know, but you can do this however you wanna season it. A little bit of onion powder.
Some garlic powder, some cumin, dried oregano, chili powder, whoa, that's a lot, right? And of course, some salt. All right.
See what we can do here. Check that out. Ooh yeah, sizzle it up, baby. We've got our finished hibiscus taco meat. Ooh, you look so good. You look like Korean barbecue. It's really got a nice like pulled pork kind of thing going on. You know, this kind of reminds me of like spare rib meat that I used to eat in the middle of the night. Wow, it's got a nice, chewy, kind of a meaty texture to it. Oh yeah, come to mama. Oh my God. Yes, this is so good.
Hi guys, it's Gordon. I got a confession. After 3 decades of cooking, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hours behind the stove, I'm turning vegan. Char. Mix. Season. Oil. Roast. Reduce. Butter. Simmer. Roast. Baste. Slice. Oil. Season. Butter. Sprinkle. Baste. Plate. Spoon. Serve. Sauce. Garnish. Vegan steak dinner, happily done.
Vegan steak from Gordon Ramsay. We were intrigued and it looked really delicious, and so we got all the ingredients and today we're gonna try it out.
I went to 3 stores this morning trying to find everything to make this, and
you were gone for like 3 hours.
it was really complex. This is the most stressed out I've ever been grocery shopping, trying to find like all this random stuff.
And I think this is one of the most expensive recipes we've ever made because
I think so.
There's so many different components. When I was looking at the blog post, I honestly thought it was a joke because I just kept scrolling. There's more ingredients. I kept scrolling. I was like, is this real? Like, is this really what it requires?
I think Gordon Ramsay might be trolling us here.
We'll see. I mean, we're gonna find out at the end if he really is, but I guess let's just dive in and see how this is.
5 hours later.
First impression, it is mushy, but it's eggplant, so.
I wouldn't say it's steak.
This one's better.
I was gonna say, this one's like super mush.
So,
I will say for 100% certainty that we will never ever make this ever again.
Ever. The mushrooms are so good. The mushrooms are so delicious.
I know, really, really good.
The oyster mushrooms. I like this. I mean,
I like it too.
It was an annoying recipe. I like, the whole time I was like, is he trolling us? Like, is this?
I think he was.
Hi everyone, it's Anya from Cooking with Plants, and today I'm making a vegan egg salad. For this recipe, I've got a 500 gram block of organic tofu. I'm using the firm tofu. I just like that little bit of extra firmness to it in this salad. And I'm just going to chop this in half. Okay, so now that this first half is all chopped up, I'm just going to pop this into a fry pan. And with the second half, I'm just going to crumble this in. So this will resemble the softer yolk part of a traditional egg salad. A nice combination of textures to resemble that of a traditional egg salad. You now lightly want to cook this mixture through, so I'm going to add some turmeric, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. See that beautiful yellow colour coming through? Resembling a traditional egg. It almost looks like scrambled egg. For the dressing, I'm using 1 tin of butter beans, including the liquid that it was in. And to that mixture, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of black salt. Oh, that's looking so good. That black salt really smells like egg. Best part, time to taste. Tastebud party.
Trying banana fried chicken, and it looks almost like the real thing, which is quite cool. Flavor wise, you know, like, does it taste like chicken? I mean obviously not really exactly, but I also think that anytime you put something in batter, you deep fry something, it actually turns out pretty good anyway.
Absolutely amazing. Boom! Baby! Is it bad to eat this? It's really good. It's actually really good.
So I'm starting this recipe off with a 500-gram can of banana flowers. And I would even recommend, like, if you wanted to stick it in the oven a little bit, dehydrate it just a little bit, I think it would taste more meaty if it was less wet. So next, this is just my chickpea batter recipe. So I just put like a cup of water along with 1 cup of chickpea flour. You could probably also substitute for like a buttermilk-esque type thing, mixing a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice with some soy milk. So I'm gonna start off by dipping the banana flowers into the dry mix first, then the wet, back into the dry, back into the wet, and then back into the dry. Is that 5 times? Well, I mean, it needs to end. So now, time for the frying. I have it at around 180 degrees Celsius. And because we double dipped the chicken, we absolutely have to double fry, right? That's kind of like the Korean fried chicken method. It makes super extra crispy skin. It is just so weird how it looks like peels like chicken. It's very, very cool. I mean, visually spectacular.
Today, I'm gonna show you how to eat vegan fine dining at home. So we're gonna have 2 courses today. For the first course, we're gonna start with some seared mushroom scallops. And then for the second course, we're gonna have oyster mushroom cluster steaks. All right, let's marinate our steaks, or our oyster mushroom steaks. To season this, I'm just gonna hit this with some vegan Worcestershire sauce, some liquid smoke. We'll do about a teaspoon of liquid smoke here. I'm gonna hit it with some seasoning salt. I'm using Lowry's today. About, I don't know, season to your liking. And some fresh ground black pepper. I'm also gonna hit this with some oil here. I'm gonna use canola oil today. This is just organic canola oil. So just rub this in every crevice of this oyster mushroom cluster. All right, let's slice these mushrooms real quick. So, you take your king mushroom here, really simple. We're just gonna cut it into a scallop-like shape here. You can do as thick as you would like your scallops. All of our ingredients are prepped and ready to go here. Let's go ahead and start cooking the first course. All right, let's make the first course here, seared mushroom scallops. So I'm going in with a couple tablespoons of oil here in a hot pan. Let this heat up. Once that oil's hot, I'm going in with my mushroom scallops here. All right, let's take a look at these. And they are perfect. Go ahead and start flipping these over. About a tablespoon of butter here. 2 sprigs of thyme, and 1.5 tablespoons of finely minced garlic. All right, last steps here. I'm going on with some salt to taste, black pepper, and some fresh squeezed lemon juice. Seared king oyster mushroom scallops. All right, let's start cooking the second course now. We're gonna make our peppercorn cream sauce. So first, I'm going in with 2 tablespoons of vegan butter here. Once that butter melts down, I'm going in with a 1/2 cup of shallots here. Now I'm going in with my garlic, coarse ground black pepper. I'm gonna go in with some salt, 1 cup of veg stock going in. I'm also going in with 2 cups of coconut cream, 2 teaspoons of vegan Worcestershire sauce, with just a squeeze of lemon here. I'm using a Ninja grill today. It's an indoor grill, but you guys can definitely use an outdoor grill if you want. So I got my oyster mushroom cluster right here. I'm just gonna go right on the grill with it. While your mushrooms are grilling, you're gonna wanna get a heavy pan or a bowl or something and press down your mushrooms right into that grill. Make sure they make contact with the surface area of the grill. Then I'm just gonna close this. Then take your beautiful oyster cluster mushroom steak. Put that in the pan. All right, we got our beautiful oyster mushroom cluster steak here. All right, I'm gonna hit this with the peppercorn cream sauce as well. And there you guys have it. Beautiful oyster mushroom cluster steak, all finished. This beautiful oyster mushroom cluster steak with peppercorn cream sauce. I'm at a loss for words, but this is the seared king oyster mushroom scallops right here. It's the vegan version of seared scallops. Welcome to the first course. Seared scallops, king oyster mushroom scallops. Let me show you the inside of these scallops here. I should stop calling them scallops. They are mushrooms. Vegan king oyster mushroom scallops.
King oyster mushroom scallops. Oyster mushroom scallops right here. Oyster mushroom scallops.
They are so good. And biting into this actually reminds me of biting into a scallop. Second course is served. So we got our oyster mushroom cluster steak with peppercorn cream sauce. You know what? Y'all have to get close for this. Y'all have to get close for this. The oyster mushroom cluster steak.
Oyster mushroom cluster steak. Oyster mushroom cluster steak. Oyster mushroom cluster steak.
It's so good. Vegan fine dining at home.
Today I'm going to be making no turkey. So it's my stuffed no turkey wrapped in my homemade bacon. It's literally the most incredible vegan centerpiece you will ever see. For the wet ingredients, into a Ninja cup, add 1 cup of soy milk or oat milk,
Some dried mushrooms, a sauteed onion and garlic, with a lovely flavour, some white wine, some cooked chickpeas. Next add some firm tofu. If you want to keep this recipe soy-free, just add more chickpeas. Next add some white miso paste. Next add some maple syrup.
So this may seem like a lot of ingredients going into this wet mix. I've still got some dried herbs and some spices to add, but it's really important to get lots of flavours into this wet mix because you need to overpower the natural flavour that this wheat gluten has.
Next, add some dried tarragon, thyme, rosemary, sage, a pinch of cayenne pepper, and some seasoning. So that's the wet mix done. And just
Whilst the mix is blending, add your dry ingredients to a mixer or to a mixing bowl. Add the all-important vital wheat gluten and chickpea flour. I'm also going to add some nutritional yeast for its flavour. Knead the dough for 12 minutes. So it's now time to transfer the dough to a clean work surface and just knead it with your hand just for a couple of minutes. Spoon a generous amount of the stuffing into the centre of the dough. Next up, sprinkle some dried herbs and spices on your work surface and roll the dough in it. As you can see, I'm not wasting any opportunity to get flavour into this. So Ellie, could you give me a hand? I need to tie this up. You do need an extra pair of hands when doing this. Set the dough aside, then prepare your broth.
to the baking tray, add some white wine and some vegetable stock. Add some rosemary, bay leaf and thyme. Add some garlic and some onion. Just give the garlic a quick bash. Roughly chop the onion, don't worry about peeling it. Next add some dried mushrooms and some seasoning.
So that's going in for 2 hours now. So now it's cooking, flip over the roast. Be very careful. Put the foil back on and place it back in the oven for 1 more hour. Carefully remove the muslin, then place the roast onto a baking tray. But I like to wrap my roast in my homemade vegan bacon. I add maple syrup to help it stick. So, the roast is in the oven. I'm getting so excited now. To make the broth into a nice gravy, you can just reduce it down until thickened, but a cheat way is just adding some corn flour mixed with water. Now it will look nice on the plate, but I'm just going to add a touch of balsamic vinegar. That's going to add some nice flavour in, but it's also going to add a nice colour too. Mamma mia!
It's so good.